Ahoy there, YouTube! Back again today for another game review. Today, I will be reviewing Zombie Fluxx by Lumi Labs. This is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 to adult, and it takes about 10 to 40 minutes to play. And it's proudly printed in the USA. Now, if you think you might recognize this game, that's because Fluxx is an extremely popular standalone game. It has spawned many different, I guess you'd call them sequels. There's Zombie Fluxx, Stoner Fluxx, Wizard of Oz Fluxx, Cthulhu Fluxx. There's a whole bunch of Fluxx. But let's look at the packaging real quick. It's nice, it's sturdy, it's small, it is easily transported. It's about 5 inches this way and about 3 inches that way. So it will fit just about wherever you want it. So let's take a look at what's inside. Inside, there's not too much. There's a rule booklet which goes over how to play. And what's nice is that it says, is this your first time playing a Fluxx game? You look over here. Already know how to play Fluxx? Then you can go to the advanced rules, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But first we'll just talk about the simple rules. They're listed all here, and you will need to read all this, unfortunately. However, once you read it once, you probably won't need to read it more than 1 or 2 other times, because it's a pretty simple game once you get it down. Also included, they have a little pamphlet pimping their stuff. They've got all the different Fluxxes, of course, which is what they're well known for. There's Eco Fluxx, Family Fluxx, blah, 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 and some of their other games. Now we get to the nitty-gritty. We got the cards in here, and there is a bunch of cards.
Grand total, there is 100 cards, and they are broken up into 6 different kinds of cards. However, for the core gameplay, we won't need these 2, so we can get rid of those for right now. So, you're going to get, first, keeper cards. These are very good cards to have. In order to win the game, you're going to need keeper cards. When you lay down a keeper card, what happens is it goes in front of you, and then it is used for the goals at the end of the game. Next, we have rule cards. The rule cards will constantly be changing the game. So this one says, play all of the cards in your hand on each turn. So this means instead of being able to hold on to your cards, you're going to have to play them all at the very beginning. Now, this can get crazy because another rule card might say, draw 5 cards. So in essence, you're going to be drawing 5 cards and playing all 5 of those cards regardless if they help you or not. So the rules in this game will constantly be changing. Next, you have your goal cards. And your goal cards are going to tell you how you win the game. There are numerous different kinds of ways to win the game because the goal will constantly be changing. So for this one, it's barricade the windows. So what needs to happen is you need to have lumber and a friend and no zombies. But we can ignore the no zombies in the core game. Last, we have action cards. And these are very important cards because they will allow you to do different things. So let's take a look at this one. Zombie Jamboree. Gather up all the keepers and creepers on the table, shuffle them together, and deal them back out to all the players, starting with yourself. Now, they don't have creepers, since that's in the advanced game, but with the keepers, that would mean essentially this would get mixed in and shuffled up, and it could go over to any other spot on the table. So, let's go ahead and try a sample hand.
To start off the game, we're going to pretend like we have 2 players in this game. So to begin a 2-player game, each player gets 3 cards. Then, the player that's designated to go first is going to draw 1 card and decide what to play. So let's see. I have a keeper. I have 2 keepers. I have a can of gasoline and I have a friend. That's a pretty good start. I also have 1 goal and 1 action. Now let's take a look at my goal. My goal says if I have a friend, I have a car, and there's no zombies, which in this version we don't have to worry about, I win the game. So the obvious choice for me to do is to lay my friend. So now if I get next turn the car and I lay this goal, I will win the game. So let's say now it's my next turn. The other player draws 1 card and lays down, let's say they lay down a rule. Alright, so let's find a rule real quick. They lay down play 2. So what that means is you set this to the side and now that's the new rule. So I'm still going to draw 1 card, and then I'm going to play 2 cards. So I might lay my can of gasoline, and then I also might lay my getaway driver card. So now, if I get 1 car, I win the game. So the other player will continue to draw 1 card, and they'll play 2. But since they know that I have 1 friend, what they would try and do is change the goal. So now they lay that over the top, and now the goal is 1 chainsaw and 1 shovel, which does not help me. So as you can see, the goals and the rules are constantly changing. which it makes it for a very fun game. Now, some of the rules are also a little bit crazy. You saw we have the play 2 card. If you have the play all cards and draw 5, you could be drawing 5 cards and playing all of them, like I said earlier. It can get really insane, and in some versions you can find yourself shuffling a lot. Luckily, though, there's some rules that cancel out all the rules and that sort of thing. The winner of the game will be whoever eventually matches up their keepers with the goals. So the winner of this game would eventually have the shovel and the chainsaw. And then you could deal them up and play them again. Now that you've played through once, you can also add the 2 special cards. Those cards are the zombie cards and the Ungoals. These are called creeper cards. What happens with these is you lay them down and they are in front of you and you can't win the game with these. Unless, of course, you lay an Ungoal card. Let's go ahead and read this Ungoal card. Zombie Victory. If there are at least 5 zombie creeper cards on the table and all players have at least 1, the game ends with no winner. This can be a very fun card to lay, especially if you've been playing for 20 minutes and you just want to be a little bit of a jerk. But also, take special notice, and I've noticed this with a lot of people, that some of the zombies that you pick have special rules. When killed, this card is placed on top of the draw pile instead of the discard pile, which means you would put it right here when you killed it, and the next person is guaranteed to grab it. This adds another fun aspect to the game, and I would definitely recommend that the second time around you play with these special cards. Overall, what do I think of Zombie Fluxx? I think it's a great casual game that can help your friends ease into some more serious games along the line. It's got a fun theme with zombies, it's got more elements of strategy than your typical casual game, and overall, it's just a fun game. You get 6 people going, the rules are constantly changing, the goals are constantly changing. It's a great time. Now, are you going to want to play it every time? No, but you would definitely want to come back to it every once in a while. The only thing that I was worried about at the very beginning was that the rules and the goals and the actions might be a little bit too complicated and they might be a little bit too complex. Don't worry about it. Everything is very well written on the cards and there's no room for interpretation on any of the cards. So, if you got the extra time, you got the extra money, you got the extra friends, go ahead, pick up a copy of Zombie Fluxx. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.
That was the review for Zombie Fluxx. For other reviews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.